I went to a Nettspend show as a fat 24-year-old guy. And not like I cosplayed as a 24-year-old fat guy. Like I went out like it was a Halloween costume. I mean, like that's who I am as a person. And I went to this show because I'm a fan of Nettspend. I mean, shit. Like I'm a badass fucking kid having an early life crisis, skipping class with Tommy, and I'm nothing like you. So I bought these tickets for too much money. And it wouldn't have been too much, but there was something that happened that I will talk about later that made it not worth that much money. I buy these tickets a couple months in advance or whatever. Me and my homie were sending each other Nettspend songs daily, right? Like every day, first text I get is from him and vice versa. It's a different song. We're sending each other the bangers. And it was almost a different one every day for like 40 days. We're big fans. Too old for this shit, but I guess not. Maybe not. Actually, yes, we were too old because I'll get to the point. I'll get to the story. So the day comes, the Nettspend day, which is surprising that the whole country didn't have a day off, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. We're ready, dude. I'm in the car listening to Nettspend on the way to work.
Hoes like glue, are they too stuck? Ain't nothing like you, I love lean.
You know, like that kind of shit. And so I was so ready, man. And after work, you know, go home, get ready, link up with the boys, do a little pregame action. Because we're actually, unlike the rest of Nettspend's fan base, I'm able to drink, right? I'm like of legal age type shit. So have a few drinks, you know, get ready, get our Uber, whip over downtown. And in this Uber, I had to piss bad. I was like, are we pulling over or are we actually there in 5 minutes instead of 15? Like, tell me. Is this GPS correct or not? Anyways, my friends gaslight me into thinking I don't have to piss. So we end up going all the way there and immediately have to find a washroom. We check a Popeyes, we check a McDonald's, and both had no washrooms available because there's like a homeless problem, you know, in my city, if not every city in the fucking first world, Western world. And then I look across the street and there's Subway. Subway always will have a washroom open. You can always count on Subway. Remember this when you're downtown. If you need a washroom, instead of searching up like fast food and seeing what's nearby or something, search up Subway. They'll always have your back. So anyways, we get into the Subway and I ask, hey, can I use your washroom? And while I'm asking the cashier if I can use the washroom, my buddy's already 2 steps ahead of me. She hits the buzzer and my homie's in the washroom already. And I'm like, yo, you know I have to use that. He's like, like just an evil laugh, bro. Takes the washroom for me. I'm like, okay, that's insane. But you know, held it in like a man. I use the power of God and anime to hold in that piss. He gets out of the bathroom. I rock it. We're all good, right? We exit Subway and we see the lineup. The lineup for Nettspend. We got there like 20 minutes after the doors opened and the show starts an hour after. So it's like 7:20 at this point. And the lineup is like around the block and then some. Of just a crowd of teenagers, dude. Like taking up the whole sidewalk going around the block. And it's like, so are we going to walk all the way around and see that we're not meant to be here until we get in this and then wait like an hour around all these children? Or are we going to try to find someone that we know in this front section or just try to hop in with some people? Because, you know, we're lit. We're cool. We're wearing like V-Lone and like Air Force Ones and shit. We're kind of lit. So we figured we could just mog our way into the front line. I end up seeing these 3 content creators that I know from the city I live in. Like I see their content on my Instagram. Like I've been following them for a while. And I was like, there was like other people getting pictures with them and stuff. So I figured, oh shit, I might just say what's up to them because they're going to also be of around my age, if not just like somewhere in between the median that I'm seeing here, because it was literally, dude, it was like 16-year-olds and then us and then these guys. So I assume they're somewhere in the middle. I'm editing this back and seeing that I keep mentioning like, oh, there's all these young kids there. Dude, it's not that big a deal. I'm happy for these youngsters having a good fucking time. And I still consider myself young. It's not like I'm outcasting myself on purpose or some shit. It's just something I noticed. Like, I felt like I was at a school assembly. There was genuinely like all high schoolers plus us, maybe like a few other guys that are my age, but it's not as noticeable because I'm like, I have a beard and like alcohol poisoning. So, and of course there's like the 2 random 40-year-olds that are there just getting plastered out of their minds for no reason. They probably don't even know what show they're at. But anyways, so we see these content creators in the lineup near the front. So I go up to them and I say, hey man, like I'm a fan of your stuff. Like I've been following you on Insta for a while and all this shit. But instead of asking for like a picture, I was like, yo, do you mind, bro, if me and my 2 homies here, if we hop in line next to y'all just on some nonchalant shit, right? And he's like, yeah, I don't see how that's a problem. Just stand behind us or whatever. So that was super chill. We get in line behind them and I hear people like hating on us from behind us. They're like, yeah, these 2 fucking guys, they like stepped in they just asked them if they could stay here, and now they're here. Like, because they were nearly at the front of the line. Like, we just went right to the front where these guys were that we recognized. But it's a cruel world. What are you going to do? Like, you win some, you lose some. If someone cuts in line, it's just 3 of us out of like the 1,900 people that are in line. Like, what are you going to do? You know, no one else is going to be cutting it at this point because we're literally by the security lineup. We just clutched it. So yeah, nonetheless, we get in the building. We do the little security check. We get inside, and my homie saw, actually, when we were in the subway, that 42 CEO was there at this concert, which is like an underground rap cover guy that covers like news and underground and stuff. And we literally like reference him all the time, doing like the Nettspend and shit like that. So my homie was giddy trying to get a picture and shit with the 42. We get in the venue, get a drink, kind of walk around a little bit. There's like no music playing at all, because I don't know what happened to underground shows, dude. Like, when I used to go to underground shows, there was first of all an opener, but before the opener there was like music of the times, you know, like stuff that everyone kind of listens to. Like, at this very same venue, I went to like Lil Yachty in 2016 and shit like that. So for these kids, it's like, this is their version of that, right? It's like Nettspend, he's the new hot artist. We're in high school, this is like peak AF, right? And I see like parents with some of these people too in lineup, which makes sense because my dad literally was in the lineup with me back in the day, going to these kind of shows, just the underground rap scene kind of thing. So anyways, yeah, we're in there. There's no opener, which everyone's like, oh, I wonder if the opener is going to be like,
Is it going to be Xavier Sobase? Is it going to be Osama's son?
And in my head, I was just like, no, because these guys, if they don't make a lot of money, they're not doing it. There's no like love of the game. They're just kind of like trapping or making music, playing Fortnite, whatever it is, double pumping. We're just kind of waiting. There's like some chill Nirvana that's playing in the background at some point. It was complete silence for a while, and then they started to play like Nirvana and like niche performative alt rock stuff for, you know, little rap fans. And so I'm like, let's go upstairs. Let's go to the balcony. Let's just see what's going on, get a view of it. And so we go upstairs, and then we see the 42 CEO. And my homie's like, oh my God, he's like right there, because he's a big fan of him. So he's like, oh my God, he's right there. And there's a lineup going to meet him, and he's live streaming. So we all just kind of line up and go to take pictures. It was pretty chill. And my homie goes onto his live stream and just goes, can I get a Nettspend? And then he does it back, and I witnessed that. And so that kind of made the whole night. I go up, I don't get a picture because my camera's currently broken, because I'm a chud and a goy and a dunce, basically. So my camera didn't work on my phone. I just got the screenshot from his stream VOD. I literally put the peace sign up, and I was like, I'm a screenshot that. And it made him laugh. So I was a fulfilled jester in that moment. And then we get to the more uncomfortable part of the story, where my homie was dying to get in the crowd, because, you know, he's a guy that likes to rage. He wants to get in the pit. The pit, dude. Oh my God, the pit's in the Nettspend show. Don't fuck with... Oh my God. The whole mosh pit like conversation in the underground is so corny. Like, how we gonna be in the Great Chaos Tour mosh pits and shit like that? Like, I don't know. It's just not the same as like a metal show. And I'm not saying I've been in a metal mosh pit. I've been in like crazy mosh pits at underground shows, but I didn't start claiming that the mosh pits were gnarly unless I was like under the age of 18 or whatever. So it makes sense. I mean, shit. That echo chamber of like mosh pit culture is literally like high school kids going to their first underground show. And that's what we witnessed. So we go down to the main row, like the general admission area, and my bro was like, yo, do you want to just kind of stand on the outside, or do you want to like go in the pit for when Nettspend comes out? Because dude, you never know what banger he's gonna start with. And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, shit, I guess we can go into the mosh pit. It's just I didn't really want to get sweaty. Also, I'm a 24-year-old fat male, right? So I just didn't want to be a disturbance to all these kids. But nonetheless, I was. So he's like pulling me into the crowd, literally by my hand, like we're gay or something. And I'm going in there. I'm like, sorry, I'm fat. Sorry. Like, just being funny, because, you know, I'm funny and shit. Then we're standing in this crowd waiting for Nettspend to come on. It's 9 o'clock. It's right when it should happen. And he's not coming out. Just chill Nirvana keeps playing. I think it was maybe because he was like talking to Nardwar in the back, because Nardwar did like a thing with him that night, because Nardwar always records in like my city. He's from here or whatever. And so, yeah, we're just kind of sitting in this crowd that is like getting crushed, and then also starts toppling over one way and another before there's even music playing. And I'm a big chungus, dude. I'm like the Rook from chess. You guys know the Rook from chess? That's like me. I'm just kind of standing there. There was a moment where a whole crowd of people fell over to one side and all fell like straight up onto the ground, and I'm standing up in the middle of them because I was unfazed. I was unaffected. These little Goyim children couldn't withstand my power. Even I didn't start the fall, but I withstood it, you know. Anyways, I helped pick up everybody, including my homies. I'm basically getting secondhand embarrassment from just being there for everybody. That is a joke. Life is not that serious. And yeah, so we wait a little while. Nettspend ends up coming out 20 minutes late. Everyone's like, it's Nettspend, And while he was like in an intermission between one of the two songs, I just hear these kids behind me say, yo, I want to start a fight. And I was like, why do you want to start a fight, man? And then all I hear him say, yeah, let's start with this big guy. I was like, big guy? Like me, big guy? I look around, there's some other big guys around. So honestly, I don't know if it was me or not that they were talking about, but I feel like they would kind of go for me because they're like, what is he doing here? You know, this guy's got a beard. He's like way too drippy to be around us. I was the only person wearing color there. I was wearing like a blue flannel and like light color clothes. Everyone else was on their opium shit. It was so funny. Oh, and that there's going to be another part that I mentioned opium in a little bit. But let's finish the actual concert. Basically, Nettspend only played music from his current album that came out, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and I realized I should have been a bit more because, you know, I like the songs in concert. I figured, oh, you know, maybe I should have given those songs more of a listen, but when I did, I just felt like my ears were being unconsensually, you know, assaulted. And so that was like kind of a bummer. My buddies were all enjoying it though. Like always we end up losing one another because one's raging too hard and one always makes it to the front because he's built like Slenderman and he can just like teleport through them or like squeeze through them. And they were trying to open mosh pits in this crowd too, by the way. And like there were so many people squished up towards the front trying to touch Nettspend or some shit that there was no room for a mosh pit. Like people were like, open it up. And I've never seen kids try to open up a mosh pit so hard. They were like slamming into each other with their backs and stuff like that. And so I said, let me see if I wanted to open up. These kids are really trying their hardest to open up this pit. And I just literally took like 2 backwards lunges and opened that shit up. So I think they like that, but then it closes within seconds and it was all, you know. Plus you're trying to open a pit between songs. Like Nettspend's literally like, yo, I'm off X right now or whatever he says in between his songs. I'm rambling a bit. Let's get into the last funny segment of like the night here. So we're leaving the venue. He didn't play any music from stuff that isn't on this album. And I was walking in, I was like, wow, man, there was no Tommy, there's no Skipping Class, there was no Shut Up, there's no Leader, all these songs that he didn't play, right? That I was really upset. And I remember just a crowd of people laughing around me, just like you are right now. Like, how funny is that? And so, anyways, me and my friends accept defeat because we know that the encore that he played was an unreleased song and there's not going to be another encore. We're not hearing anything off of any other album he's done. And we're leaving and I just hear this one kid say, yo, I was trying to have fun, but this one fat fuck was in front of me. And I thought it was me, but then I was like, there's no way he could be talking about me because I wasn't in one place for a consecutive amount of time, like a lot of time, you know? But to that kid, if you were talking about me or anyone that was stuck in front of you the whole time, you were stuck behind some chungus, just move, bro. Like you're not committed to where you're standing in these places. It's a general admission forum. Instead of saying something like, hey, love fat people, we love fat people or something like that, I just figured I'll leave it be because that kid probably has like the Fortnite shit talk like roast ability and I really don't, so I didn't want to get owned. But there was something I had to say. When we left this venue, right, we're waiting for my friend to get his coat back and out come these 3 guys and they have like, you remember like the whole lot of red makeup that Playboy Cardi did where he had like the mime or the clown look, like the dark clown. So these guys had that on with like snakeskin leather jackets and like chains dripping down and shit like that. And honestly, dude, it was so cool. Let me just say that. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I said to them as they passed by, I was like, yo, you guys are so opium. I just need you to know that. Like, you're so opium. They look at me and they go, what? And I was like, you guys are just so opium, man. I just want to let you know. Just all my troll shit because I'm like trying to get something from the night, even though it was really fun. And one of them just goes, all right. And I said, Jinxie? Is that opium Jinxie? And then they just walked away. And that's what made me really think that this generation is too aura-based, too nonchalant, too much like focused on mocking and just looking like the coolest person in the room. I had the most fun time being someone that didn't care about no like image, clout, whatever. I just went there as a big body Tonka and enjoyed myself. So, and that just reminds me of another time I went to a Ken Carson concert and there was this one kid in the crowd that was like, or in the lineup that was tweaking about like his outfit. He's like, he just looks at me and he's like, dude, like, I don't know if I have this shit on for real. He was wearing like a tank top and a red bandana, just really normal shit. And I was like, bro, if it makes you feel happy, like just wear it. And like, who cares? No one's looking at you. Everyone's looking at themselves. So that's all you got to remember, I guess. And the moral of the story is nothing really. You gain nothing from watching this. Thanks.